Hey, so Splat 3 Splatfest just finished, and I played in it for 11 hours, and I want to talk about it. Start off with the weapons. Splatana, very, very fun. I don't think its kit works with it too well. I mean, like, you can use the rolling torpedo, and if you get in close with the Splatana, it's a one hit because the wipe is 30 and then the blade it's 15 itself. So coming out with like the 60, you still get a one hit KO, but it doesn't feel like it's that good. I mean, it's good for like locating. I feel like Hammer isn't that good with it because it leaves you very exposed, and Hammer still isn't a special, so you know, that's the thing. Bow, I feel like, is extremely underpowered. Doesn't really paint that well, and it has very little kill potential. This doesn't seem that good. Like, if you, the only reason why you use a bow over a charger is if you want to hit people over walls, if your comp struggles with that. At that time you already have bombs to poke with, which the bow kit is not the best at, because you got Toxic Mist, which doesn't exactly poke that well, and Whale 5.1 I guess does the trick, but not exactly. Going on to the specials, which are the main draw of it, I'd say. Trizooka, I think, is very good. I can't aim with it because the aiming reticle is a straight line thing and not like a dot like it is with the weapon, so I can't aim with it properly. I just need to get used to it, I guess. Well, 5.1, very nice that it tracks. If you just stay still on it, you will die because you can't move. Like, if you get locked on and you're sharking somewhere, that's instant death, or pretty close to it unless you're wearing like a lot of swim up. It also acts as a very quick refill and just free targeting, so that's always nice. The Crab Tank, yes, the Bakugan, very, very nice. I like that its backside is exposed, so it actually has some interactability. Also like that the crush, or like the bump, is 40 instead of 50 with Baller, so plus you're not going to get moved around as much with Baller, so that's always nice. Crazy fire rate as well once it builds up, and like the X-Blosher shot that it shoots out as well is going to be very, very fun. Big Bubbles, I like that it acts as a shielded beacon. That's pretty much all it is. I mainly used it for a quick refill when playing with Junior. If I do stay with that Junior, double bomb with that's going to be fun because you just bomb, bomb, shield, bomb, bomb. And it's really fast, faster than Incomer, so that's going to be fun. Zipcaster, much like Zuka, also seems good, but I can't really use it that well. Maybe it's because it was on a brush and Luna, which I'm not exactly the best with, but it seems like interesting to aim. I didn't really get to use it that much because I tried it with Overrush once and they just didn't really work out. Triple Ink Strike. I think Triple Ink Strike's going to be very good. It's going to be dominant in zones and tower, I think. If you can just delay your Ink Strikes enough, you can just annihilate it and anyone on it. I wish it was on different weapons. Of course, demo we only have 26 weapons, being Slosh Umbrella, which, I mean, I mainly use Slosh, which I'm not that good at, but yeah, Strike seems good. I do like it as a downside that you can't go back into your ink. That's always a very nice downside to have, just to, you know, balance everything a bit. Wavebreaker, I didn't think it was that good. Like, you can squid roll over the waves and that will give you enough leverage to actually start a counterattack on it. Don't think it's that good, honestly. Re-Slide is very fun, very enjoyable. I like the Akira slide. I like that Spray just builds it insanely fast, even though it's at 180p. Just good shit. Tactical just gives me the big what the fuck, because what the fuck, Tactical? Why are you so good? You get like, I don't know if, I'm gonna assume it's a main, it's probably like 9 subs, like LDE. You get run speed, swim speed, intensify action. You save 100% of your special if you die with it, and you respawn in a second. Like, what the fuck, Tacticooler? I also will enjoy saying I got drinks on deck as a call out when I use it. Also, side note, I do find it funny that the wave breaker can be broken, but not the fridge, even though one is very much better than the other. The new sub was the line marker, and I like it. I said I was going to like it when it was first announced, as it bounced off walls and does shit, and I still like it. I want to use it on a shorter range weapon as a bit more of poking power and to just, you know, be an absolute nuisance. It's going to be a funny burst bomb for me. Going on to the maps. Scorch Gorge. Nice map. It's got good verticality. I think it's actually decently balanced as well. It seems like you can, like with the new maps, you can always look at mid from snipe and not like far away. It's like relatively contestable, which is always nice. You don't have to go too far into the enemy's space to bomb them out. Eeltail Alley, I think, is kind of mid. There's really only one way to contest bridge. It reminds me of Schellendorf Institute, sorry. This reminds me of that way. You have two parts, except that you can sometimes contest bridge while you're down on the lower section, which is like interesting enough, I guess. I'm not sure how that map's gonna play out. Undertow Spillway. I don't know if I'm liking it or hating it at the moment. It did turn up a lot when I played it, so that probably consists of some of the downturn of it. Glass is annoyingly hard to reach, especially because you have a giant wall that is protecting you to your left, their right. It also makes it just very hard for bombs to poke out, and, you know, charges and backliners are just gonna be super oppressive from there, and you can't do shit about it. Also, the middle platform is extremely thin, and it's not a very good fighting area, especially with the fucking pillow that's there for no fucking reason. Mincemeat, if Mincemeat Metalworks was in rotation, there's an 80% chance that you're playing Mincemeat. I also don't really like it that much. Like, it's a very flat map, doesn't use verticality well. When it does, like, you can easily climb up every wall, which I guess is a benefit, but like the main way to get into the top mid is on grates, which is very exposed. Lockouts are also pretty common on that map, but I think it's just because I wasn't playing the map well enough. Museum di Alfonsino, a good map returning. I don't think it's had too many changes. I can't really comment on it. I thought it was a good map. Thumbs up. Mahi Mahi. I have some issues with Mahi. I was super excited for its return. Now I'm just sort of like on it. High Tide is way too cramped, and it feels like if you lose High Tide, you're going to lose Low Tide because you just lose so much turf. Because once it does become Low Tide, the map actually opens up and becomes better. The map honestly just could be just a touch larger. Actually, that's the sort of thing with all the maps, honestly. The maps all feel like very small, like Splatoon 1-esque, I'd say. Because Splatoon 1 maps were small, Splatoon 2 maps are big. This one just seems to be maybe a little bit larger than Splatoon 1 maps. I'd rather see them strike a more even balance in between the two, honestly. The fest itself. So I picked Team Scissors. I got 800,000 clout for the Scissor Gang and made it to ruler +5. So that means by the halfway point, I was the team defending. So I have some opinions about Tricolor Turf War. My main issue with it is Sprinklers of Doom. They paint so efficiently, and they also paint extremely close to mid as well, which is like my main issue. Also the fact that it may just be a placing problem. It's just where they're placed, honestly. It could very well just maybe a map problem, but they're placed so close to mid. As a defending team, it's often a 2v2 that often, if you lose a member, it'll become a 3v1 eventually, which is always not very fair in my opinion, but it's not meant to be fair. It's Tricolor, it's meant to give the losing teams a chance to catch up. Fair out to stop at least one signal from going off. Sprinklers are way too good. Also, the team of 4 is always in a paint deficit, no matter how much you paint. It'll always be like a 20 to 40 if the map is like just started. It's gonna be a 20 to 40 and you've got like no movement. Then if you're going like later into the game, it's probably gonna be like 25 to 60 or something like that, just because the opposing team has so much more space than you do. And because of this paint deficit, I think some weapons don't work. Like I saw Hydra being used to a pretty good extent, and Chargers just stood up top left for most of it, and that's all they did the entire game. So I just think that, like, if you're going to play range or maybe even the bow, it's gonna be very hard for you to like do well in the Tricolor. I think shooters will be very good on the team of 4 because you need that paint output. Also, something else I found very interesting is that attempting to run the signal gives you 300 clout, and doing so, getting it successfully, gives you 2500, which is a lot of clout. Like if you win as a defense, you get 3000 clout, which I guess, I mean, I only played it 4 times. I won 1 match, so maybe I'm just bad. But the honestly easiest way to make sure that you don't get trampled in Tricolor is to just not play it. Like the defending team just goes into pro because you can't get Tricolor matches in pro, and you just decimate there. Don't play Tricolor if you're winning. That's the strat. New way with the 100 times and the 333 times. So it's now that when you win a 10 times, you get a festival shell, and the more shells you have, the more likely you're to get 100 times or a 333 times. And then once you lose 100 or 333 times battle, you lose all your shells, which I think is a very good issue. It rewards people playing well in the 10x battles, and also just in general, because, you know, once you get good at the 10x's and you get used to the pressure, you'll get into 100 times. I don't remember if you keep all your shells after winning 100 times. I don't think that's the case. It's a very neat little system. I also like that you get a fish crown, similar to the top 500 crown, once you've won 100 or 333 times. It is a nice little signifier. Now we get on to one of the biggest issues of the test file, the connection and the netcode. It felt like every second time that I wanted to queue up, I would DC or I get a connection issue. It just felt bad, honestly. Like there's a good chance that you spend most of your time waiting for a match than actually playing the game, which is not a good sign for your game, honestly. It means you're lacking servers, you're lacking like appropriate matchmaking logic. It's just worrying, honestly. Also, anytime that one person DC'd before the minute, the game is considered a draw and boots you out. I hope that is just a Splatfest specific thing, because that's just not good for the game. That just means everyone plays less. You've waited like 100 something seconds to queue up, you go through your starting animation, 30 seconds in someone DCs, you gotta read the thing for like 10 seconds and you get booted. It does not seem that good, honestly. And of course, it will not be Splatoon without the half-second kill delay that I kept experiencing. I'm not sure if anyone else experienced that, maybe just because my net's bad, or maybe because I'm from Australia and far away from everyone, but it's still present, still annoying. It can get drawn out to a full second, which means oftentimes when I would just cleanly kill someone, I just end up trading instead, which is definitely not what you want. It's a very, very big issue. I think that the new servers are good for that, and just increase the, instead of having one person experience lag to an extreme extent, everyone just gets to experience a little bit of it, which is, you know, interesting, I guess. And I have one more thing to say, pretty much, before wrapping it up, is the gear. Who the actual fuck thought it was a good idea to have the players locked to 2 mains of gear abilities during the Splatfest? Like, what the fuck? I want to, like, plan out. Also, no subs as well. I can't run my one sub defense up or whatever it's called, and I want to run like extra main saver to, you know, fire a bit more because I need it, and I need a little more swim speed to do this, and I want some intensify action to make squid rolls easier, and it's just like, you don't get any of that, and it sucks, honestly. I don't know if this was the case in 2, probably was, like the 2 test fire, but it's just not feeling that good, honestly. I also felt like the gears designs were very safe. Like, we saw some very interesting stuff from the Twitter pictures, and we got, I think, very little of that. We got, I'm pretty sure, well, most of it was all new gear, because I definitely saw my old hat, but I really wish they took a bigger step in risking what gear they showed. Final thoughts? I think the game is better than Splatoon 2, but it needs polish. I think the specials are better in design, except missiles, and I think that it's going to be a much more fun game overall and a lot more fight-oriented instead of just spam missiles-oriented. I'm really hoping for a very aggressive junior kit and a better Splatana kit. I saw the trailer, the 29.8 trailer from Nintendo, and it shows that the Splatana Stamper, the slower version, has Burst Bomb and Zipcaster. Yay for Burst Bomb. I'm interested to see how Zipcaster works. Maybe if you get really close, you can get that one-shot direct, which would be very interesting. I think that the game will suffer if it doesn't have at least 2 kits on launch for each weapon, mainly because if you're limited to one playstyle for this weapon, I think people will be quickly turned away. Splatoon 2 had a few weapons that had 2 kits at the start, which I think was a very good option, but I think we just need more kits overall. Sprinkler of Doom, I think, needs a major rework. I think it probably just needs better positioning, honestly, and freaking the map was just bad for it. But the fact that it paints for like a full second after time ends is just not good, and that's just like a free percentage point probably. Could just be very annoying. And my biggest hope for Splatoon 3 is that they fix all the net issues, because I'm probably playing through the background some of the matches I did, and you can see if I get kills how bad the delay is, because that's what I was constantly experiencing throughout my 11 hours. Yeah, I'm gonna big run Splatoon 2 for a bit while I wait for it to come out in, yes, 11 days. Anyways, that's my thoughts.